The EU electricity market design sets clear rules to eliminate barriers for demand accessibility and to enable its activation across Europe. There are around 25 articles for this specific purpose. In 2020, smartEn released its first monitoring report to really assess how this provision has been implemented and transposed in national law. And more recently, in March 2022, we issued the second monitoring report. There is timid progress still now, after more than 2 years, on the implementation of these key frameworks for demand accessibility. And I'm here with Marion Malafosse, our policy manager, that led this exercise and relied on the network of smartEn companies and stakeholders that we are working with also at national level that were the fundamental sources for the realization of this monitoring report. So Marion, what are the key articles for demand accessibility in the electricity market design?
So in the electricity market design, we have both the electricity regulation and electricity directive who contain key provisions for demand side flexibility. And these provisions can be clustered in 4 areas. The first one is the market-based procurement of all decentralized energy resources by system operators. The second one is to ensure that we have the non-discriminatory participation of all decentralized energy resources to all markets and mechanisms. The third one is to have frameworks for innovative services, including aggregation services and energy communities. And the fourth category is to ensure that end users have access to price signals.
Overall, what are the key takeaways from our monitoring report?
Well, in short, very timid progress. We can even say stagnation. Today, we still have a lack of proper progress and proper legal framework at national level. And in our ranking, when we compared member states in our report, we note some progress only in 2 member states in their overall situation, which are France and Finland.
Compared to the 2020 edition of our monitoring report, where do you see more positive developments?
Well, across the analyzed member states, we see progress in allowing consumers to become active customers. In over half of the analyzed countries, we see that provisions have been introduced to ensure that final customers are entitled to act as active customers. We also see progress in setting frameworks for citizens' energy communities. And we also see progress to have access to price signals, in particular with the rollout of smart meters or the implementation of time-differentiated network tariffs that reflect the use of the network.
Instead, compared to 2020, where do you still see a lack of progress?
Well, we see very limited progress for an open, technology-neutral access to all markets and mechanisms. Local flexibility markets are still in their infancy. And in that sense, we can say that a lot of the limitation is for explicit flexibility. Unfortunately, the same can be said also for implicit flexibility, because despite the rollout of smart meters, we see that dynamic price contracts are still lagging behind.
So why it is crucial to advance on the implementation of the EU electricity market design?
We are in an emergency situation for the EU energy system, so we need to eliminate barriers to allow cost-effective, reliable and climate-friendly solutions. The first step to that is to remove regulatory barriers and technical requirements to demand-side flexibility. Then, we need to stimulate the deployment of more decentralized energy resources and the activation of all this demand-side flexibility potential, which can be done through the Fit for 55 package, but also the Repower EU plan, specifically to face next winter. But without the first step, the implementation of the electricity market design, consumer flexibility will remain blocked by regulatory obstacles.